Hello, my loves. Welcome back to this week's episode of I Think I Need Therapy. Today we're going back to the big sister advice, giving you all the tips, all the tricks, all the advice that you would get from an older sister. I have 6 topics today to go over, so let's just get right on into it. Our first question is what to do on a bad body image day. Now, we all have bad body image days. I know I've had my fair share of them, and if you have listened to this podcast before, then you'll know that I had an eating disorder, and I went through this whole journey with rediscovering love for my body, for my appearance, for myself, and that process was really hard, and that the whole journey was super difficult. But even where I am now, like, I'm at a place where I do love and care for my body so incredibly much, and I don't say negative things about my body very often. But yeah, I still struggle sometimes with like just not feeling so great, like not feeling so hot. Like, even if I look the exact same as I did the day before, and I'm wearing the exact same outfit where the day before I felt so great, so hot, so confident, the next day I could just feel like shit and think that I look awful and that my body looks completely different. And that's just the way our minds work sometimes, which sucks. But that all is to say that we all have bad body image days. Honestly, the best thing you can do for yourself when you're having these days is to just be gentle with yourself. Like, we can't always believe everything our mind is telling us, because oftentimes our thoughts are not true. So you have to remember not to always believe what your brain is telling you, and put on an outfit that you feel comfortable in. If you are going out to a specific event and you have to wear an outfit that you're like a little bit uncomfortable in, is more tight fitting, try and find something different that's more comfortable, that you feel more confident in. And honestly, just wearing loose fitting clothes is so much more helpful. Like, when you're not wearing tight clothes, you're just in the most comfortable baggy clothes and you don't have to like see your figure, it can make the world of a difference. And I'm not saying that you need to hide your figure, because you do look awful, but it's just more helpful for you to feel like you're comfortable and to feel like you don't have clothes that are like sucking to your body or just tight on your body, because that can make things a lot worse. And with that, just stay away from the mirror. Honestly, just try to avoid looking in the mirror as much as you can on these days. Just literally walk right past and be like, nope, I'm not gonna look in the mirror today. I know I'm having a bad body image day. I'm not gonna look in the mirror. I'm not gonna body check. I'm not gonna mirror check, because I know I'm having a bad day. So just stay away from the mirror. And don't punish yourself. Don't punish yourself with exercise or by not eating just because you're feeling poorly about your body this day. Don't punish yourself with that. What you can do is do like some loving movement. Go for a walk or do some yoga or do like some form of exercise that is loving and caring for your body and that feels good, that you want to do, that you enjoy. Or don't do any exercise at all. Or make yourself a good ass meal that will make you feel satisfied and happy. Like, food brings us happiness. So make like some meal that you're like, fuck yeah, this is good shit. Like, I love these chicken fingers. I love this salad. I love this burger. I don't know. It could be anything. Some comfort food. It doesn't have to be like a little 3-piece lettuce salad with straight balsamic vinegar on top just because you think you have to eat less because you're not feeling good about your body. Eat something that makes you feel good. Eat things that make you feel good on this day, and move in a way that brings you joy and is loving, in loving movement, not harmful and punishing movement, okay? And another thing is just to spend some time around good friends, or just watch some like positive people online. If you are like watching YouTube or something, or even scrolling on social media, try and stay away from social media on these days, because like if you're having a bad body image day and you fill your surroundings and what you're seeing and what you're intaking with people who are being negative and people who may also have like these negative thoughts about themselves, then it's just gonna heighten your thoughts and your beliefs about yourself, and it's just gonna send you down just a negative path. And we don't want that, especially when we're having a bad day. We don't want that. So just spend time around people who are good for you, who will uplift you, who will like distract you from these negative thoughts that you're having, or watching like positive people online. Just those things, and surrounding yourself with those things and those messages can make the world of a difference, to be honest. So keep these things in mind for your next bad body image day, because like I said, we all have them. They come and they go, and we can't control them. But do your best to show yourself some love each and every day, especially on these days, and just like take care of yourself a little bit more on these days. Our next question is when to cut off a toxic friend. Well, there are some key things that can come up in friendships. And friendships are so complicated because they are so different from romantic relationships or like parental relationships. I mean, each one has their own things, but like I feel like there's more structure and more rules and more like, around those kind of relationships. But when it comes to friendships, it's like kind of, I don't know, there's like no guidelines. You know what I mean? There's like no guidelines. Just tell someone who's in your life who you really enjoy being around. But if you have someone in your life who is constantly bringing drama to you, who is constantly bringing drama into your life, if they're not respecting your boundaries, if they guilt trip you for setting boundaries, they make you feel uncomfortable when they know you wouldn't like what they're doing. Like, I had one friend who, like, she knew I felt uncomfortable in certain situations, yet she would still put me in these situations where I felt uncomfortable. And I'm like, girl, I've communicated this with you. If you know, like, don't make me feel uncomfortable, please. Also, if someone's putting you down and making you feel bad about yourself, even if it is them trying to be funny and like make a joke. I know we all make jokes that are like mocking or making fun of someone else, but they can be okay to an extent, especially if one of my pet peeves is when people do this when you're not close to them. They make like some like degrading joke or like a mocking joke when you're not close. Like, don't do that, please. Like, don't make fun of me in a joking way like we are close, because I don't even know you and that just seems rude. Thank you. There are times when like, you can make a joke, but if your friend is saying them in a way that is actually hurting your feelings, there's like a line. Like there's jokes you can make. They're like, like, haha, that's funny actually. But then there's one where it's like, that's crossing a line, like you're actually being fucking rude. If your friend is making those kind of ones, then that is not okay. And it's not someone you should be surrounding yourself with, because your friend should not make you feel bad about yourself. Your friend should not make you feel like you're a bad person and you're not fun to be around. Like, your friends should make you feel good and uplift you and make you feel loved and supported and cared for and all these things. Me and my friends talk to each other in such a loving way. Even like when we are joking, like we know each other and we know like where that line is. We know like, okay, if we say this joke, like they're gonna think it's funny. And we're not saying with harmful intent or anything like that. It's like, we know that person is going to think this joke is funny. And we often don't even make those kind of jokes. Like, honestly, we speak to each other in such a loving, uplifting way that it's so healthy. And it's like, I always leave my friends feeling good about myself. I never leave time spent with my friends feeling like, holy shit, I'm an awful person, or like, now I hate myself, or feeling like insecure about something else. Like, I go to my friends for them to fix my insecurities when I am insecure, for them to make me feel better about myself. And that is what friendship is. And people can always pull a card of like, well, I thought we were friends, I thought I could make this joke with you, like, no. And also, like, kind of along the lines of what I was saying before, if someone is only around you or only like asking you for things and only spending time with you for the things you have, if they're only around you when they need something from you and they're always asking for things but never giving anything in return, and they're not like caring for you in any way, they're more so just taking, then they're essentially just using you. And I don't think that's very much of a friendship at all. And I know some people are also just like never reach out or never like ask how you are or never truly sit and listen to you. And there's people who you might just like go to with things and they're just like, yeah, whatever, like let me talk about my problems. Or they're constantly just talking about their problems and never asking you about like what's going on in your life, or not even problems, like they just talk about themselves all the time and they never ask you about yourself or your life. Then I'm like sure there's some people who are a little bit more like that, but if they care about you, they are going to want to know about you in your life, because then it's like what, like you don't even have a connection because they know nothing about you and you know everything about them. It's like, are you with their therapist? No, these can all be signs of not being in a healthy friendship. And I know, like I said, like friendships can be confusing, friendships can be complicated, and it can be hard to be like, oh, like this person isn't good for me, maybe I need to stop being friends with them. It can be hard to do that because oftentimes we just have so many people who come into our lives and are just like, oh yeah, that's my friend, and we don't often break off friendships. That's why I think a very comfortable way to end a friendship is just to start spending less time around this person. Just tell them that you're busy. You got more shit going on. Or honestly, just make yourself more busy and start to spend more time with other people in your life rather than this person or these people. And I know there's situations where like maybe that won't work and you do have to say something to them. And in that case, just know that it will be for the best and you are doing yourself a favor, and you will feel so much better in the future once you do cut off this person from your life. And I'm not saying that you can't work through these kind of things. Maybe they don't realize that they're only talking about themselves all the time and they actually do genuinely care about you, and maybe they'll try and ask you more like once you bring it up. But that's all up to you and how you feel your relationship with this person is and your friendship is, if it's good friendship or not, and if it's something that's really bothering you or not. But if those things are happening, I'm sorry, and I hope you can work through them, and I hope you find people who are better for you and who are good friends to you, because none of you deserve to be surrounded by people who are degrading you and not making you feel good and causing you more stress than needed. Now I'm going to go on to our third topic, and this one is all about the ick. I'm not gonna lie, my mom suggested for me to do a whole podcast episode on the ick, and I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, Mom, okay, I'll do it, sure. I don't even know if you know what the ick is, but actually apparently she listened to some podcast on the radio about, or like the news on the radio, and it was talking about the ick, which is so interesting. But yeah, I mean, we all do get the ick from time to time. I have not like gotten too much. Oh god, no way, I haven't got the ick that much. I know there's people who like genuinely do get it a lot, but I haven't a whole lot. But I think it's important when you do get it just to know and realize if it's a temporary thing or if it's a deal breaker, because sometimes like it can be a sign that you're not that into them. It can be, or it can be something that's just like, oh, like that was like, why the fuck did you do that? That was weird. But then you can get over it. So I think it's just important to realize which it is and make decisions based off of that, because sometimes it can just be like, no, I'm done with this, bye, I never want to see you again, that was gross, and then regret it later. But I honestly, some of my icks, I was thinking about this. I actually was having a conversation with one of my teammates about this the other day, and how, like, if we're dating someone and they start, like, running or, like, doing something athletic and just look so unathletic and so uncoordinated, I fear I would get the ick. And I'm sorry about that one. I just would get the ick. Yeah, I would. But I don't think that would be a deal breaker for me. I think I'd just be like, I just don't want to see you run anymore. Like, just never run around me, please. Just never do that. Also, one guy, oh my god. Oh, I got the ick so bad. We were texting, and I don't even know. I don't remember the conversation. All I vividly remember is him telling me. He literally texted out that he had Riz. He told me that he had Riz. He's like, yeah, I got Riz. One, the fact that you're saying Riz is an ick. Two, you saying that you have Riz to me is, like, disturbing. Like, that's icky. Bye. Like, don't. You have Riz. Okay. If you had it, you would not be saying that. Oh, it was so icky. And some other ones are, like, if they comment on, like, famous social media accounts, like, you know, like, I don't know, what is it called? Purity, I think, or Puberty. I don't know. That Instagram page, or, like, Taylor Swift's or something like that, or Kylie Jenner, and they comment on the Instagram post, and it's like they're trying to be funny and trying to get, like, top comment with all these likes and stuff like that. But they literally get, like, 2 likes. It's like, why did you just comment on this famous person's post, or, like, this account's post? Why are you commenting? That is an ick. That is an ick. Like, if I see your comment when I'm scrolling, no, that's an ick. Like, if you comment on your friends, obviously, like, yes, like, that's normal. But if you're commenting on, like, some famous posts, like, I don't know why, that's just icky. And if they still send streaks, oh my god, bye. If they're genuinely snapping someone, like, mass snapping and saying streaks, it's not 2016 anymore. It's not. But I do think that if you are getting, like, these icks in a relationship, I think, or even at, like, the start of something, I think it's important just to remind yourselves about the things you do like about them, and don't get so consumed by this one thing that you're just, like, ew about. Try and just remember the good things, and if you genuinely cannot get over that ick, just be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, and maybe take it as a sign. Maybe just take it as a sign that they're not the one, and you're not that into them anymore. And that's okay. I actually asked my friend about this as well, like, who's in a relationship, if she ever got the ick, and she said she never genuinely gets the ick with her boyfriend. Like, sometimes he'll do something that she'll think is maybe a little weird, but she just sees it as funny, not as, like, an icky thing. And I think when you love someone and you do genuinely like someone, you're not gonna, they'll do things that, like, if someone else did, you'd be like, what the fuck? But since they're doing it, you just think it's, like, funny, and it doesn't actually gross you out. The next one I wanted to talk about is picking yourself back up out of a rut. So say you're just in this rut and you are lying on the couch and you just can't get yourself to do anything. You've been not showering, not eating good, just haven't been taking care of yourself or your things, and you feel kind of stuck in it. It does make it worse to stay in it, because I think when we're not feeling good in general and we don't take care of ourselves, then we're going to fall down and just feel worse about ourselves when doing that and not taking care of ourselves in the proper way. So I think it's super important to just take small steps and just get that momentum going by doing one thing, even if it's, like, throwing out the trash, taking a shower, doing your laundry, drinking a glass of water, making a healthy meal, or going for a walk, going to a fitness class, or even You can just get outside in some way, or switch up your routine if you can. Go somewhere new, try something different. Just change like something up, and that can just get you out of that stuck place. So just try to do one thing and be gentle with yourself, because we all get into ruts sometimes. We all get into these little not so great places, and we feel like a little bit stuck and aren't taking care of ourselves. But let me tell you, once you do these things for you and show yourself this care, oh, it'll be so good. I was on the phone with my sister the other day, and she kind of just like hadn't really been eating well the past few days, and then she was like, no, I need to like get out of this, and made a good like meal, and it looks so fucking good. And we were on FaceTime, and she like took the first bite, and she was like, holy shit, this tastes so good. And when you don't take care of yourself and you don't do those things that are good for you, when you first do it and when you start to do it, it feels so good. Like when you take that shower after you haven't showered in forever, oh, it feels so good. When you get your laundry done, when everything had just been piling up and been messy, you finally just like clean it all, it's like, it feels so good. It does. So just remember the fact that it'll feel so good once you just do it. And so, like I said, by doing something small, like genuinely getting out of bed, getting off the couch, taking a step outside, or getting a different outfit on, getting in the shower, drinking a glass of water, all the ones I already went through, just do that one thing and get that momentum going. Get it going. And you just have to be gentle with yourself and just give yourself the same care that you would give a friend. How would you treat a friend in this situation? Like, what would you do for them, or what would you want them to do for themselves? And treat yourself with that same care and that same love and the same respect, because you deserve that too. Another one I wanted to go over is what to do when someone asks for space. This one can be hard, because we can go through this whole spiral of attaching it to our own self-worth and attaching it to what this means about us. And also it can be hard, because if someone's asking for space but all you want is to be with them and you want to talk to them, then it's hard, because you're like, fuck, you want space but I don't want space. But honestly, if this situation is happening to you, just respect their wishes. Respect the fact that they asked for space. Give them that space, give them some time, and even if it hurts, don't try to guilt trip them. Don't try and push them and make it all worse. Because honestly, if someone needs space, they need space, and just respect that, and respect that boundary that they're asking for and putting. Because honestly, when someone asks for space, it could be because they're overwhelmed, and when you push that, it can cause them to be even more overwhelmed and just make things worse. So try and respect their wishes as much as you can. And I know, like, if you're wanting to reach out to them, and if you're like, damn, I do not want space, I don't want this space, just make yourself busy. Make yourself busy. Try your best not to reach out. And like I said, I know that it can hurt sometimes, and we can attach it to our own self-worth, especially if you are someone who has an anxious attachment style. You can just like get so in your head and like, what the fuck does this mean about me? What did I do wrong? Like, is there something I did that makes them want this space? Like, are they breaking up with me? If it's a romantic relationship, if you're dating, or are they gonna like end whatever it is between us? What did I do wrong? Am I unworthy? Am I like not lovable? What do I need to change about myself to make this better? Like, I just want to fix this, blah, 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 blah. I know, like, these are the things that my head goes through. I spiral through these things. And if you're someone like that, it can be so hard to give someone space, because you're just like, I need to end this now. Like, I want to end this anxious, like, thoughts that I'm having, these self-degrading thoughts. And just know and understand that people process things differently. If someone is asking for space, it's genuinely 9 out of 10 times because they are trying to process something. They are going through something themselves. They just need that time right now. And honestly, space is a good thing because it can also allow both of you to clear your head and, just take time for yourself and come to maybe some realizations about this relationship. And that can be a good thing because they can realize, like, damn, I really value this person in my life, and this taking this space is making me realize that they are someone I really do care about and enjoy having in my presence and having in my life. And so just know that, like, it is more than likely that it is all about that person who is asking for the space. So give yourself a little bit of care if you're going through this. Like, take this time to just do some self-care, do things for you, take a bath, journal a bit, like journal it all out, clean your whole house, clean your whole room, just like do things for you, keep yourself busy as much as you can. And also, like, if this is a situation where someone is genuinely struggling to show up for you in your relationship, they're just not being present with you. It doesn't have anything to do with your worth, and it does not make you unlovable, and it might just mean that this is not the right relationship. You deserve to feel secure. You deserve to feel comfortable and confident in the situation you're in the relationship that you're in, whatever it may be. The right people will communicate their feelings with you and make you feel okay even if you are taking space. It will make you feel comfortable and make you feel secure even if you're going through a moment of not really seeing or speaking to each other as much as normal. So yeah. And so this last topic is about the importance of aftercare. And when I talk about aftercare, I specifically mean in sexual scenarios. Aftercare can also apply to, after having an argument or after having a deep conversation or having an emotional breakdown or anything of the sorts, like any intimate situation or situation that brings up a lot of emotions. Just like having someone give you care after these emotional experiences is super, super important. And validation of any emotions is so huge. I think validation is so huge. Like, what I learned in therapy, actually something that I've been talking about with my therapist, is how you have your natural and your manufactured emotions. And your manufactured emotions are ones that you kind of manufacture in your brain because you put a situation into your head that might not be real. You have an event, then you have the reasoning for it, and then you have your emotion. And so this event can happen, but in your brain you might tell yourself the reasoning or what is happening is something different from the reality, and that can evoke an emotion that is not correlated to the actual event and doesn't actually really align with the real event. And so it's important to validate whatever emotion is coming up, whether it's manufactured or not. And it's important to also look at, like, okay, what happened? What am I believing here? What am I believing in this situation? Like, what's going through my head about the situation? And does that actually make sense with the emotions that I'm feeling? Does it actually make sense in this whole scenario? So anyways, little therapy advice there. But yeah, I just think validation is huge, especially like after these emotional experiences. It's important just to be like, yeah, if these emotions did come up, like, that is valid, no matter if they are unrelated to the event or not, whether they're unnatural or not. Like, your emotions, what you're feeling is still valid because you're feeling those things. But okay, specifically for sex, I think aftercare is super important because it's an intimate experience. Like, it can bring up a lot of different emotions, and also, like, the difference between having sex with someone who does not care about you versus someone who actually does is like a world of a difference. Because when someone does not care about you and doesn't fully, like, respect you, you're not going to get aftercare. It's going to be purely for the physical feeling and everything else tied with it, because there is a lot tied with it. There's a lot of emotions tied with this. And afterwards, it's just like, okay, this physical experience is done. This physical deed is done. Now, bye. Bye. No kissing, no hugging, no cuddling. Bye. No care. If someone is doing that, they do not care for you. And I'm sorry that you're experiencing that. And I mean, yes, like that is more like just like hookup type sex. But even then, it is an emotional thing. And it's an intimate thing that having aftercare is still important. Like, even if you're hooking up, like, just having a cuddle after and not feeling like you're purely being used or purely being taken advantage of is nice. But with all of this, just know that you deserve aftercare, and if you're not getting it, ask for it. Like, you deserve that. You need that. Like, if you're not getting that, it's not healthy. Because this can toll with so many of your emotions. And just, like, I know from myself and some of my friends' experiences where it's like, if you're not getting that, you genuinely just feels like you're being used and you're being taken advantage of. And that does not feel good at all. And if you're someone who is like doesn't know a lot about sex and is like just getting into the relationships or just getting into like losing your virginity, know that it is important to be cared for both before and after the act. It's so important. Make sure that you're being taken care of, and make sure you're taking care of the other person, and make sure that you both still feel comfortable. And if anything like happened where you're like, damn, I did not like this, or if you just like are like, holy shit, like I don't feel good about this, talk about it, or just like do something for yourself that'll make you feel just better and more comfortable. Or if someone else is like, maybe they seem a little bit off, just like make sure they're okay too. Yeah, just know that, and know that that is super, super important. And also, if you did like any of these topics, please let me know. If you didn't, that's okay. Like I said, take what you want, leave what you will. I thank you for listening to this point. I thank you for staying along with me through this whole episode and listening to my podcast. Moral of the whole story is know that you deserve to be taken care of. Take care of yourself. Give yourself some love. Give yourself some grace. And do what's best for you today. Okay, guys. I love you so, so much. And I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for being you. Thank you for staying on this beautiful planet with me. I love you. And as always, I will talk to you again next Tuesday. Bye, guys.